All right, we are live. So as we just get live now, we'll wait to see people jump on here. But I want to go ahead and introduce my guest today, Stephanie Messas.
Hi, thank you
And
for having me.
absolutely, thank you so much for joining me here. And Stephanie, just go ahead, if you would, introduce yourself on a personal level, what you do, what you're up to, what maybe big agendas you have going on in your personal life or business related.
I'm Stephanie. I am originally from the south of France. I was born and raised in Marseille. I came to the US in 1997, so I've been here for a while. And I've been an attorney since 2005. What I'm doing currently is like the rest of the country, waiting for the results of the elections, basically. And on a personal level, I'm trying to, figure out how to organize everything with this new life that we have amidst the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone can agree with you on that. Everyone's in the same state of mind right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Everyone's kind of waiting to see what happens with the election, of course, and then with COVID, what does that mean for us in business? You as a business owner, entrepreneur, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for our clients? So we're right there with you. As far as your firm, tell us a little bit about your primary expertise and some of the types of clients you work with. And is that you're based in New York?
I am based
So
out in New York. Exactly. So my firm basically helps mostly European companies, because I'm from France, develop and expand in the United States. So what that means is I'm going to create their affiliate entities here in the U.S. I'm going to help them exploit the U.S. market, maybe by acquiring a company or merging with a company. I'm going to do their corporate maintenance, and I'm going to do a whole lot of contracts for them, create their sort of contractual base, but also work on any contracts they may already have. The contracts will vary depending on what type of company that my client is. I do a lot of employment law, especially during COVID. I had a lot of work regarding terminations, furloughs, and all that stuff, and how to comply with new leave laws, and a lot of intellectual property, NDA licenses, trademark searches, and trademark filing, trademark prosecution.
very interesting. So you deal with most companies, I guess, or all companies that are based outside the U.S. or in France specifically.
Yes, so I could completely help a company here in the US without having an affiliated entity in Europe. It just happens to be sort of like my target market, simply because I speak French, and so French clients are attracted to me because they know that I'm familiar with the French culture and French language. It's just easier for them to start exploring and venturing into a country that they may not know, whether it be legally or even culturally.
That's a good point. And as they say, there's riches in the niches. So you have a niche, and yeah, you're able to fill that, and people are attracted to that. So I think that's great. And then
Exactly.
for my company, niching, we don't niche specifically right now. We have segments that we've worked into, law being one of them. And
Hmm.
it's helped us so much versus being so broad. With
Absolutely. Especially since in terms of like my expertise, I'm sort of like the slogan on my website is outsource in-house counsel. So I'm basically like, I take care of everything for my client. There are a few things that you need more expertise that I'll refer out, but because my expertise is so broad, you want to sort of narrow in on the type of clients that you want for something very specific.
excellent. So, real quick, anyone watching tuned in? I know we got a few viewers watching right now. If you have questions for Stephanie, please put those in the comments. We're going to both see those, and here towards the end, we'll answer your questions. So throw her the hardest questions you can come up with, and hopefully she can try to answer them. And I'll just probably listen because she's the expert. But so please ask any questions. Put some comments in, and we will respond. And so you deal with these companies out of the in other countries or mostly France. What are some of the things? So intellectual property you mentioned. Give us a little bit more about that. Maybe what types of clients or industries maybe that you see mostly?
So I have a lot of different industries. It just so happened that, I'm getting a lot more obviously in anything that's startup based, a lot of in tech, luxury, anything that's retail. So for example, I have a lot of clothing companies from France that are expanding here. I'm trying to think of pharmaceuticals. I have jewelry. I have cosmetics, a few cosmetic companies actually now. I have various software companies. So I don't have a specific type of industry. It's more going to be the size. My clients are generally, at least where they're based, are generally pretty large, but when they come to the US, they're small to medium companies.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, that's good to know. So if anyone listening and you fit in one of those, please reach out to Stephanie. Um,
Absolutely.
so, speaking of your firm, your practice, I guess over the last few years, where have you seen some growth and success in your practice?
Excuse me. So just to give you a little bit of background, so I was working for another firm, and I actually launched my practice in January of last year, right before COVID. And surprisingly, it's worked out great. And some of my clients followed me, and my clients sent me clients, and so it's been going great. I've been very busy during this COVID period and the quarantine period. Um, so in terms of growth, so I've definitely seen, companies who wish to expand. I had a few potential clients, but that put their plans on hold, at least to expand to the US, because physically, they're not allowed to come to the country. So it's very hard to sort of, hire, and logistical things like, buying maybe a target to acquire and things of that nature is very hard to do them when you can't even come to the country. So those sort of plans have been on pause. That being said, I have a, a few clients. I actually have a client that's in hand sanitizers, so you can imagine how, his business exploded. But I have a few clients who definitely expanded and developed during this COVID era, despite the slow in business. And that meant, updating contracts, maybe changing very COVID specific clauses, like, for example, force majeure clauses and deadlines, and can contracts be done and accomplished by other people, can they be assigned, things of that nature. We worked a lot on during sort of a more quiet time, because the clients had the time to do that, and wanted to make sure to be up to date with all these new changes, not only in the law, but in their professional relationships and their business relationships.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, I'm sure there was a ton of companies that weren't sure what to do, what to change,
Can we
what
get
this
out of
all
a
meant.
contract? A lot of that. Can we get out of the contract? If not, can we modify? Can we amend some things to make this, time a little easier on us?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that was well, you would think a bad time to start a business, but maybe worked out to be a good time for you to, as far as your practice and your expertise. So I know for me, I tell people it's always a good time to start a business. Just start, get going. You're gonna fail. You're gonna learn along the way. So
Absolutely.
stop delaying and get going. Right. So
Absolutely.
all right, excellent. So give us, me and the audience, tell us what sets you apart. And I already know some of these because of how you've explained yourself, but what sets you apart, from your competitors? So other firms,
Hmm.
whether they're here in the U.S. or not, but what sets you apart?
So, a few things. First, and I think the legal industry had to be better about this because of COVID, but the first thing is I'm extremely digitalized. That all my tools, all my software, everything is in the cloud. Even the way that I communicate with my clients is I want to make it as easy as possible for my clients to communicate with them. I pride myself to be more of a business partner to my clients. That means I don't want them to be afraid to call me every second of the day because they're going to be billed, or because they're going to take too much time. So I've sort of built my business around that, helping my clients really grow, because if they grow, I grow too. So the sort of modernized law firm format has definitely sets me a little bit apart from my competitors. The second factor is that because most of my clients are in France, I try to mirror my fees to my French colleagues. That means that I'm gonna work a lot with flat fees, which is where in law firms I'm gonna work a lot on, for some of my clients, monthly subscription model, whereby they have like a certain amount of hours. They know they have those. They generally know how much they need, so they never go over. They're billed at the beginning of the month, and they don't have to worry about it. And that really helps in terms of my relationship with them, and also simply for them to be reassured that they're going to have their legal needs met without worrying about constantly having to think about how much they're going to be billed. And they end up building a very solid legal foundation, and which is great for them and great for me because they hopefully become very successful.
Well, I love that a lot. So, yeah, obviously being modernized and digital. A lot of law firms are trying to go towards that. But the older firms,
It's
it's a
tough.
challenge.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. I've worked for various firms, and it's tough to get them there. It's tough.
And as far as your business model of subscriptions, we follow that. So, with my marketing agency, everything we do is technically, I guess, a subscription you would call it, but it's reoccurring, payments of the same amount. We handle all the marketing. It's the same bill they're used
Great.
to.
It's
And the
great.
thing, like, building that foundation, whether it's SEO and content, we're constantly there putting that in there, and it's a budget number that they can afford. And it's all inclusive for us, and for you, that helps with cash flow, predictability, and risk, right? So that you have those.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a great way to build your practice and your business for sure. Anyone listening, think about that. We call it recurring revenue. And MRR, that's kind of what we preach a lot here too, is, your clients to commit to something, even if it's small, and you get enough of them, it gives you a good cushion and a way to run your business.
Absolutely.
So I love that very much. So is there a marketing strategy for you? So how you personally, whether it's using LinkedIn or putting out content or your website, what is something that's marketing related that's been a success for you, that's worked well for you? Obviously, you're in your first year of business, but you got a way of getting your clients. So what have you done, and what's worked well for you?
So I have to say, word of mouth from my clients is definitely a big one. I don't have to do anything with that, which is great. But other great things that have helped are, there are some definitely free tools out there to use, and LinkedIn is definitely a huge one. Over the years, I've been an attorney since 2005. So over the years, I've met a lot of people, I've networked with a lot of people, and I've been counseling a lot of people who have found me through the LinkedIn network. So that's been great. I've also created my YouTube channel where I have 3 to 4 minute videos in English and French regarding expanding your business in the US, and sort of the legal hacks and obstacles to try to avoid. That helps too. I post on LinkedIn when there are changes and updates in the law, or when I think there's something relevant to my clients and to generally businesses that follow me on the network. And honestly, a lot of networking. This is a great time to network for several reasons. You can stay home. You can meet people via Zoom. It takes 2 minutes to join some organizations, and some are very reasonably priced, that are in the industry that you're targeting as far as client base. So for example, the French Chamber of Commerce for me has been a great resource, because that's where entrepreneurs go, or European entrepreneurs go, when they get to the US. So I've used that. I've been networking via they have a large network. I've been Zooming with clients, potential clients, and just referral sources. So those have been really my sort of marketing strategies.
I love it. I love it. So again, kind of digital, right? So you're
Absolutely.
using video, you're using social media, your YouTube channel. I think that is excellent way to get out there and get in front of people. That's basically a search engine in a sense as well. So how we find you on YouTube, just for anyone watching that wants to go find you on there, just look for your name?
Absolutely, either my name or the Messas Law Practice, and you'll find me there. And I have a few videos in English, but we'll be uploading soon videos in French. And also, I'm going to do a video because everyone has been asking me a video about COVID and employment practices, best practices regarding to COVID. So, what should I do in terms of new policies? What should I do in terms of making sure I am conforming to new leave laws, things of that nature? I'm going to have a video up there because everyone is asking me for it.
That's excellent. I love it. So it sounds like you're on the right path. Everything you're doing is what I would encourage someone to do.
No,
And not that I'm always right, but um, yeah, LinkedIn's just been so great for me. That's how I found you on LinkedIn, and that's how we first connected. And I do everything, with personal DMs. I don't automate stuff. Just be authentic. And I think people, you should be leveraging LinkedIn for sure. It's a powerful tool.
absolutely.
It's a powerful tool. And I love your advice on the French Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
Oh, there's
And
every country. So I don't know which
yeah,
country you're interested in more, but if
I-
you're if you're
so
looking for, I'm
we're
sorry.
part of our local ones.
Uh-huh.
And that's fairly limited. We work with clients around the country. Our local one seemed like a fit to be part of. But we definitely want to expand out of that. So I'm definitely going to look into that myself, and I appreciate that advice. So we're going to look into those things. And I guess, is there anything else on your mind? Anything else you're working on? What is the future for you as far as your firm? Do you have future growth plans and things like that?
I'm really hoping to grow more and have my first employee soon. And so it's looking like it's going to be happening. We'll see. And to continue expand, to continue to make sure I provide excellent services to my clients and that they be happy and successful. Because like I said before, the more successful they are, the more they grow, the more I grow. So, it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you. So, all right, everyone watching, we appreciate you tuning in to talk with me and Stephanie. Stay tuned because Stephanie will be on our podcast, Journey to 100 Million. And I think I'm not sure how many episodes we got, but we're around 700 episodes coming up. And
Congratulations.
we just, thank you. And everyone that's tuned in to watch our show. It is a daily podcast, about 5-minute to 7-minute episodes. So Stephanie, you'll probably have a few episodes that we put up there that we'll slice out from here. And so stay
Looking
tuned
forward
for
to it.
Stephanie to be on the podcast. Stay tuned to see her in a lot of other social media posts. We'll feature some of these video clips throughout the next couple of weeks. And Stephanie, I look forward to talking to you
seeing,
soon.
and maybe, we'll be able to, all of us, grab coffee one day live.
I definitely look forward to that. So hoping sooner than later and get back to normal business. But until then, you got to keep pressing on, use video, keep networking. Don't let things stop you. So,
Thank you very much for having me again.
all right. I'll see you guys soon.